welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I am working on 30 Days of Sketches, Series 16, day number 11. Today's sketch was created by Tara Van Morsel. I'm hoping that's how she pronounces her name, since it's the way I pronounce mine. Here is her sketch, and she has quite a few fun hexagons in her background, and I don't think I'm going to be doing that. I may bring in some stenciling with hexagons, but I don't think I'm going to build big hexagons, mostly because I don't have enough paper from this collection to do that. So I'm going to be using this as my background, and then I pulled in some sheets of paper. This is Simple Stories Summer Loving. I've been hoarding this because of course I have, and these are the papers that I pulled. This I pulled for journaling. She has journaling strips. I think I'm going to use a tag on a couple of tags on mine. I have some October afternoon circle letters and some photos of my son away at summer camp for our church. So I have 5 photos there and just some of the embellishments from this collection. So I'm going to pause, I'm going to get started, and I'll be right back. Alright, what I did here was I cut the floral border off the red piece, and then I cut about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, so that I could put a little strip of the red on the left side of the blue. The blue is the back of the water hose paper, and I believe I cut it down, I think it's 5 and 7 inches are the two sides, and I cut 1 inch off so that it would be like 5 by 11 or so. And so this is my background that I've built up. No worries, I did save that beautiful floral border for another layout. I just tucked it back in with the rest of the collection, and then I cut 2 3 by 12 inch strips of the striped paper. You just saw me trim off 2 inches, and I will do the same with the other side, but I'm also going to do a little banner on one end. So I'm going to I fold it in half, but I don't crease it, and I just cut, and I end up with a nice little fishtail banner. And I'm going to attach that. I have my 2 sides kind of butted up against one another so that I can get things on there evenly. Now I'm taking the Distress Oxide, I believe this is the tea dye ink, and I'm just going to stencil a few little hexagons here and there on that craft paper. It wasn't really necessary, but I thought I would at least give a nod to her hexagons because I liked her sketch, but because of the papers and the photos that I chose for it, I just didn't have enough to pull off that many large hexagons, and I can cut them with my Cameo, so that wasn't the problem either. But I just wanted to give a little bit of a nod to her hexagons by using this stencil. That is a Heidi Swapp stencil. It has grit paste on it that I didn't clean off fast enough, in case you were wondering. I did trim down my photos just a tad off camera, but I didn't trim enough off of this one. My photos are a different orientation than the ones on the sketch. I'm having that issue quite a lot this month, and that's just because I am trying to use the photos that I have printed already rather than continuously printing more. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you're doing. I'm just trying to finish up some 2016 layouts for my family albums, and that way I can move on to the next year. So this, I think, is the bits and pieces, or do they call it a page kit? I'm not sure what they call it, but it had a title in it. Initially I thought I was going to use Summer Lovin' for the title, but when I saw this, I knew that I could use the little typewriter key font and put Summer Camp Vibes on here instead. And right now I'm just kind of putting a foam dot behind every letter so that they're popped up. I will pop up the Summer Vibes as well with some foam adhesive, and I will pop quite a few of the other elements that I end up putting on here. Again, I think I mentioned that I am hoarding this collection, mostly just because it's so cute and I really need to stop hoarding all the things. I really do. So you might be wondering what I'm doing with the trash part of my foam dots. I actually use this for foam adhesive on the backs of larger elements. So I am cutting things down so that it'll fit on this title, and that way I am not throwing any of it except for the backing into the trash. So I'm using the whole sheet of foam dots because that just makes sense to me. Also, sometimes it's hard to find fun foam with adhesive. I do have some right now, but I am continually trying to use up all of the product that I purchased. That way I'm not throwing as much away. And to me, it's kind of like recycling. So if you decide to do this, I just want to warn you, it's a little bit fiddly trying to get the backing off of it. You can see I was tearing it off in stages. Next up, I am just going to start deciding on which embellishments are going to end up here. When I poured out that pack of ephemera, it had a bunch of these little hearts, and so I thought I'd go ahead and use up, I think I used up most of them, if not all of them. I also added some of the food chipboard icons to the photo where he's eating his dinner and he's waving, "Hi, Mom." And I added a title to where they're playing the game that I can't think of the name of the game right now, but they're playing a game in a kind of like a playpen, and I added a phrase there. I'm going to cut out 2 of the tags. I decided to use 2 tags rather than the strips. I'm not going to have journaling on both sides of the layout. First, I kind of turn it sideways and realize, well, that's not going to look great. So I'm going to use the tags and I'm going to stick them out of the top of that photo, kind of like that, and then I'll journal on them and tell a little bit of the story. I know that the flip-flops are a little bit bigger than the tree, but I'm okay with that. All right, I got my layout completely done. I'm pretty happy with the way that it turned out. The stenciling brought in those hexagons on the original sketch, and you saw most everything that I did on camera here. I did go ahead and add this pair of sunglasses to the top of this banner. I considered putting an arrow to my kiddo, who is right here in this photo, but I didn't. So everything else you saw me do, I did add foam adhesive in various places to the layout, and that is just about all for this particular layout. I want to thank you for coming to my channel today. I really appreciate those of you who take the time to like, comment, and or subscribe. If you are new here, I would love to have you as a subscriber. I do interact with my subscribers. If you have any comments or questions about this layout, feel free to drop them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Make sure that you check out that description box below. It has this month's playlist for 30 days of sketches, and it'll have any information for Tara's social media so that you can check out her work as well. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.